this card is opening up with two brand new fights. We've had a couple of fights fall through. We went from 11 fights to 9. We are back to 11. So we're going to go ahead and break all these down. I have a quick picks video. Jacob has a quick picks video. This is our video together. It's going to be less formal than the other two, but these first two fights we haven't broken down yet. So opening up the UFC Vegas 63 card, we have Christian Rodriguez taking on Josh Weems. This was literally put together like 4 hours ago. There's not odds for it anywhere, at least not at the time of the filming. Christian Rodriguez is a 7-1 overall. He's 4-1 in his last 5. He is coming off a loss in his short notice UFC debut. And Josh Weems is making a short notice UFC debut at 10-2. He's 4-1 in his last 5. He is riding a 2-fight win streak. And that was after a failed Contender Series bid last year. Christian Rodriguez, he's a slick striker. He's got solid movement, good speed. He's got pretty good takedown defense. He does bounce between 35 and 45. I believe this fight is going to be at 35, but he was already...
Did you say there's not odds? Because there are odds.
There weren't like a half hour ago.
Well,
what are
there's
they?
Right now, and Christian is a minus 310.
Okay, and that makes sense. Spoiler alert. But Christian Rodriguez, he bounces between weight classes. He does have good takedown defense at 60%, but his UFC debut was against Jonathan Pierce, who took him down 8 times. But that was at 145. He's now at 135. He was actually able to take Jonathan down a couple times as well, which is not an easy task. Josh Weems is stepping up on short notice. This is his UFC debut. He's got 2 wins in a row in the regional scene. Before that, he lost to Fernie Garcia on the Contender Series. But if you watch that fight, so if you look at Tapology, you're going to say, oh, he was knocked out. If you watch that fight, he actually looked pretty good. He's a busy striker, solid footwork, good versatility. He uses low kicks really well to set up combos, and then he'll just jab and work to the head. Everything ends with a big strike to the head. Every combination, whether he starts it with kicks or jabs. He's a well-rounded guy, but mostly a striker. I got to go with Weems here. Or sorry, I'm not going with Weems here. I was going to say, I appreciate that Weems is in the UFC. I think he deserves to be here. I don't want to say he got a bad break on Contender Series because that was a flat out, he got knocked out. That was legitimate. But he brings the fight. I appreciate his fighting style. If this was a full camp, it would be a different breakdown, I think. But Christian Rodriguez, with the ability to grapple, the fact that he's been booked this whole time, and this is extreme short notice. This isn't like, 2 weeks. This is like, who knows what his weight will be.
You got to start your weight cut as you're signing the contract.
It's crazy. Yeah, this is very, very short notice. So I do like Christian Rodriguez here. If this is a full camp, I might feel a little differently, but those odds feel right.
Yeah, I kind of followed you in the same way where I watched that Contender Series fight versus Garcia, and I thought, oh, this guy he's pretty legit. The way he bounces in and out, you mentioned the kicks, especially against a flat-footed Garcia where you watch Christian Rodriguez when he strikes, also a little bit flat-footed, has the same type of power that Garcia has. And you do kind of feel bad for Weems in that fight because the knockout shot wasn't like this, oh, he's got his chin up in the air, he's acting like an idiot. He was against the fence, his arm was up like this, and the guy just snuck a shot right behind his ear above his high guard that just dropped him, and he couldn't recover after that. But yeah, I mean, his striking looks good. I think he can definitely have some success early, chewing up that front leg of Christian as he was doing to Garcia in that fight versus a flat-footed fighter. And he's very, very well versed on the ground. Doesn't have the greatest takedowns. You see a lot of submission wins. A lot of those are coming off his back, right? So pulling guillotine, getting taken down. He's throwing up triangles. I don't think that's going to happen against Christian Rodriguez. You saw Jonathan Pierce basically give him everything he could handle in the submission game in that fight. Kept taking him down, kept threatening submissions, and Christian just kind of went through the motions and eventually was reversing positions, got Jonathan Pierce's back a couple times. So he's going to be well versed on the ground. So when I initially saw this, I saw Weems. I'm like, okay, this guy could be a live dude. And then I watched the Christian Rodriguez, Jonathan Pierce fight. I was like, okay, yeah, Christian should be able to handle anything Weems throws his way. Maybe, there might be some danger early, but he should be able to have the power and withstand anything in the grappling. So I saw the odds, and I agree with you. I saw the odds. I'm like, okay, yeah, that definitely makes sense. 3-1, somebody that's been preparing to fight for this week. And Weems, could end up being a guy. Usually when you have these short notice fights, they give you someone a little bit more manageable for your next fight as like a thank you, right, for taking this short notice. So glad he's in the UFC. I think he could eventually be a guy, but this is definitely a Rodriguez play all the way.
Yeah, 100%. The stats are interesting, though. If you look at the stats, so Weems only has, they actually each only have one fight to go off of. But Weems in that one fight in the UFC was landing at a rate of 7 significant strikes per minute before he got knocked out. He was winning that fight. Granted, it was short. He got knocked out pretty early.
I think there's a lot of those were kicks. But I mean,
but no, these are significant strikes. Yeah, these are not total strikes. They're significant strikes.
Right. But they were heavy leg kicks, so it is a significant strike. But it's not like he was like teeing off on him and stuff like that. But I agree.
But
yeah,
he was
very
the one
active.
pushing the pace. Yeah, he pushed the pace.
Yeah.
He looked really good.
He looked great.
He got cracked. And I was actually surprised they signed Fernie for that win. Like, yes, he won the fight. He got a knockout, but he was backpedaling the whole time and then landed a solid punch. So I was surprised he's got signed. But anyway, we're pretty aligned here. Pretty straightforward pick. Christian Rodriguez is the pick here. Josh Weems is very good. He does belong in the UFC. This is super, super short notice here. So there's probably going to be some problems there. And I don't think he was booked for another fight. So it's not like it was a quick pivot for him. So anyway, I'm not going to bet this fight. I see people in the live chat saying, is he a parlay piece? He could be. I just, Christian Rodriguez is still 0-1 in the UFC. We're not talking.
Right now, I think he's the biggest favorite on the card right now.
This whole card is 2-1. Yeah, this whole card's 2-1.
Yeah, and this is one of those, and let me preface this. By the way, if you think you're going to make money this week on the UFC, go ahead and like the stream. Let's get some likes on the stream. But I'm telling you right now, and I mentioned in my breakdown, I don't know if you mentioned the same, this is definitely one of those weeks where it's listen to the analysis, not necessarily the picks, because there's a lot of favorites we don't feel great about. We're probably going to pick a lot of favorites, but we don't feel great about it, and there's certain positions where the underdogs can win the fight. So listen to the analysis, and then make your bets off the analysis, not necessarily the black and white pick. So that's just my little disclaimer. I don't know if you feel the same, but...
No, I do feel. Listen. I always feel the same. We give you guys all of our picks. Premium members get every single bet. Non-members get some of the bets. And I know people want to just copy paste, right? You just want to copy paste the bet. You just want to tail the bet. I totally get that. The reality is, do some of your own research. Do some of your own analysis. We're not giving you financial advice. When we give you bets, those are our bets. That's what I'm doing with my money based on my opinion, the research that I've done. You should do your own, listen to what we're saying, and then make your own decision at the end. This is the type of card where a lot of people are going to have a rough weekend. I think we found some really good spots because we went heavy with safety net prop bets. So there's a lot of good spots there. Money lines are tricky this week for sure.